Bishop Herman Murray isn't just another voice behind a pulpit. For many people across the country, he has become a symbol of strength, purpose, and electrifying spiritual energy. His words cut through noise, his presence commands a room instantly, and his rise is filled with moments so powerful that even critics admit, something about him feels different. People call him America's preacher not because of a title, but because of the way his influence reaches far beyond the walls of any church. But to understand how he reached this level, you have to go back to the beginning, to a story shaped by quiet struggles, unexpected turning points, and a mission he never asked for but embraced fully. His journey started far from bright stages and huge crowds. Born into a modest environment, Murray grew up seeing the type of challenges that push many young people off their path. Bills, pressure, limited opportunities, these were not abstract concepts, they were daily realities. Yet even in the middle of all that, there was something different about him. While most kids were focused on hobbies, Murray was drawn to prayer, to scripture, and to understanding people's emotions. Family members say he had a calm maturity that didn't match his age. There were moments when he would sit quietly in church, studying the expressions on people's faces, observing how faith could lift someone's spirit almost instantly. That curiosity turned into passion. Before long, he began leading small prayer gatherings, encouraging friends when they felt lost, and sharing bits of wisdom he didn't yet realize were years ahead of him. It became obvious to everyone around him that he wasn't just spiritually aware, he was spiritually driven. But even with this calling, life didn't make the path easy. Murray faced personal doubts, financial roadblocks, and societal expectations that tried to pull him away from ministry. And yet, every setback became the fire that strengthened his voice. The real shift, the moment that turned a young man with a quiet calling into a future national figure, came during an unexpected encounter. Murray himself has never publicly disclosed every detail, but people close to him say something changed in him afterward. His tone gained a new authority. His presence became stronger. It was as if the weight of his mission settled onto his shoulders at once. And from that point forward, he walked differently, spoke differently, and prayed differently. Once he stepped into ministry full-time, everything accelerated faster than anyone predicted. His early sermons were raw, emotional, and incredibly relatable. He didn't just preach scripture, he preached experience, pain, joy, and transformation. People said it felt like he understood the hidden weight they carried. Word began to spread, first around local neighborhoods, then farther out. Soon, people were traveling miles just to hear him speak. Churches filled quickly. Community halls overflowed. His voice had power, not because it was loud, but because it carried conviction. The moment that launched him onto the national stage came when a sermon of his aired on television and immediately went viral. Clips began circulating online. Viewers described feeling a surge of emotion they couldn't explain. Some said it felt like he was speaking directly into their hearts. Others felt he was giving words to emotions they had never expressed out loud. The impact was instant. His reach expanded beyond churchgoers. People who hadn't listened to a sermon in years suddenly found themselves drawn to his message. But popularity comes with questions. Critics began scrutinizing him. Some religious leaders wondered how someone relatively young could gain such influence so quickly. They questioned whether his energy was too unusual or his approach too bold. Rumors spread online suggesting he was too charismatic, as if connecting emotionally with people were a flaw. Yet through all of that, Murray stayed calm, steady, and focused. He didn't argue with critics. He didn't chase approval. He simply kept preaching with the same authenticity that brought him recognition in the first place. While his sermons gained attention, his impact behind the scenes grew even larger. Murray didn't limit his ministry to Sundays. He launched programs to help families going through hardship, to guide young people searching for direction, and to provide community support where it was desperately needed. Whether it was job training, counseling sessions, mentorship, or food drives, he built systems that offered real help, not just hopeful words. People who attended his programs often said his ministry didn't just preach hope, it delivered it. The stories that emerged were powerful. Struggling parents who turned their lives around. Young men who avoided dangerous paths because his mentorship gave them purpose. Individuals who had given up on faith finding strength again. His influence was no longer just spiritual, it was social, emotional, and practical. And at the national level, his voice grew louder, especially during moments of crisis. Whenever the country faced tragedy, tension, or uncertainty, people looked for guidance, for someone steady, someone consistent. Murray became one of those voices. But with that spotlight came pressure. Social media amplified every speech, every post, every expression. Supporters defended him with passion, while skeptics questioned every move. At one point, a sermon of his sparked nationwide debate. Some praised his courage, while others accused him of going too far. Talk shows discussed it, radio hosts analyzed it, and online forums erupted with arguments. Yet again, Murray remained composed. Instead of escalating the drama, he addressed the situation with clarity, humility, and unwavering conviction. That moment, meant to challenge him, ended up reinforcing his reputation. Behind the powerful preaching and public recognition, there was also a man carrying emotional weight no crowd could see. Long nights preparing sermons, hours spent counseling people, endless travel, and the pressure to constantly inspire thousands. It all took a toll. Those close to him say he often sacrificed sleep, personal plans, and private comfort just to ensure others were supported. But what made his journey remarkable was how he used even his exhaustion as testimony. He spoke openly about perseverance, about overcoming inner battles, about trusting faith even when life felt heavy. As his story continued unfolding, another surprising detail emerged. Murray's influence wasn't limited to one age group. Young people, who often feel disconnected from traditional religious spaces, found in him someone relatable. His tone wasn't condescending. His style wasn't outdated. He spoke their language, addressed their fears, and encouraged them to lead with purpose. Meanwhile, older generations respected his discipline, his integrity, and his unwavering commitment to biblical foundations. Bringing these groups together is something few leaders can accomplish, and it became a defining part of his ministry. Over time, Murray evolved from a preacher into a symbol of resilience. People didn't just listen to him, they followed him, learned from him, and built their own lives around themes he preached: discipline, faith, and intentional living. His sermons didn't end at the church door. They sparked conversations, inspired life changes, and created ripple effects across communities nationwide. The reason people call him America's preacher has little to do with titles or popularity. It's the collective experience of those he has touched, those who walked into his services feeling broken and walked out feeling renewed. The families restored. The young people redirected. The individuals who found hope again because his words reached a part of their hearts they thought was gone forever. His story is still being written. He continues to grow, evolve, and expand his reach. But one thing remains the same: his message hits the soul. It cuts through distractions, reaches into silence, and speaks to the deepest part of a person's spirit. That's rare. That's powerful. And that's why Bishop Herman Murray is recognized by so many as America's preacher. His rise wasn't luck. It wasn't overnight fame. It was the result of resilience, calling, and an unwavering belief that his purpose was bigger than him. And as his journey continues, one thing is clear: his impact isn't slowing down. If anything, it's just getting started.